hmm hmm Due process of law. Ouch. It means a judicial hearing and notice to you so that you can prepare your case. It also means that your property can be taken only for a public purpose. Many lawsuits are brought every year. To determine whether the declared purpose is public. Now, in addition to these rights that fall under the due process clause, yes, of the Constitution, every citizen enjoys the old common law right to the full use, quiet enjoyment of his property. Whether it's personal property or real estate, there are both civil and criminal remedies for violations of this right. Oh, look at my right to the equal protections of the law. Now, let's see here. My civil and criminal remedies for violating of these rights. Yes. Now, as I understand it, yes, I can sue you for the criminal and the civil. Yes, that's what it says. There are both civil and criminal remedies for the violating of this right, known as due process. Now, when you decided to give custody of my sons to my wife without the jurisdiction of the United Nations, yes, without any proof of service, right now. And then my wife decided to use my name, yes, in publication without the authority of the laws of the United States. And I send you about 2,800,000 emails and you won't write a written complaint, yes, about the violating of my rights as a father, yes, to my last name, yes, so that my sons would not appear right now. Hmm I think you made war against me and I'm the people. Pow. Now, that duty that you refuse to do, Sheriff, in every county of the United States, oops, I'm not just talking about the elected oath. See, the actual law, yes, says that every sheriff is sworn in. Yes, they have the one duty. Yes, and then they have the duties. Yeah. The individual elected to the office of sheriff has an additional level of what is known as responsibility. Anytime there's an election for the actual office, the chief executive office of the sheriff, yes, you have your oath of office as a sheriff that you're legally liable for the enforcement of. Poop. Now, treason against the people of the state consists in levying war against the people of the state. Now, did you, Sheriff, decide to levy war against myself? Let's go ahead. See, it's a Class A felony and punishable by death. Ouch. Did we repeal the death sentence right now? See, I will put to death every sheriff. Ouch! Do you fucking understand? You've levied war against the people of the state. You've adhered to the enemies of the people of the state. You've used technology without warrant. Yes. You've illegally wiretapped electronics. Yes. And then you refuse to acknowledge the state obligation to enforce the due process rights of the people. Now, treason is a Class A felony. Pooch. And all of those that decided to misprison the treason of Clallam County, yes, Jefferson County Sheriff Stanko, it's a Class B felony, and you can go to prison for it. Isn't that right, Ozzy? Snazza. Now, why don't you get me the oath of office of every elected sheriff in each and every county of the United States? Yes. And then the individual laws of the individual states that makes it treason for a sheriff to not write a written complaint, yes, of any knowledge that comes to you while in your jurisdiction. Now, a lot of sheriffs would say, well, what if I was in the jurisdiction of the alleged crime? Then it would be the obligation of the sheriff where you're in that jurisdiction when you receive the knowledge. Yeah. Kind of like if every sheriff of every county drove to Clallam County. Yes. And they said, Bill, we just found out about the knowledge of the forgery, fraud, and kidnapping. Pow! Then you would be obligated to go to the sheriff at that county while in that county's jurisdiction. Yes. And have that sheriff write the written complaint. But when you're in your county and the county of your jurisdiction and the knowledge comes to you, you are obligated to write the fucking complaint in your county. Now, I want these sheriffs for treason. Pouch! Okay. all of you that are elected to office. And I'm going to sue you for violating your duty as a sheriff. Those that are under sheriffs, yes, deputy sheriffs. This swearing in, what is it that you swear? And then there's this thought, right, that you can't be convicted of treason unless the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act. Yes. Did any sheriff, deputy sheriff, or undersheriff ever hear any sheriff say that we are not writing a written complaint because it would involve us, yes, in stepping on the toes of another sheriff? Oh. Now, I only need two deputy sheriffs in each and every county. What the hell?